Welcome to the CX Coffee Chat, brought to you by The Nest. Grab your cup, settle in, and let industry leaders spill their CX beans.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our first episode of the CX Coffee Chat. I'm your host, Catalina Niño, Business Development Manager for LATAM, and today I'm with Laura Morales, Senior Member Experience at MAZA. So, Laura, welcome, a big welcome to our first episode of the CX Coffee Chat. I would love that you introduce yourself, please, to the audience.
Of course. Hello, everybody. Big honor for me to be your first guest. Um, I'm Laura Morales. I am a member experience manager at MASA. And yeah, thank you so much for this space. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience with all of you.
Thank you for being here. So great. Let's start with the first question for you. So first, we want to know your background and your journey into the world of the customer experience. Can you share some part of that with us, please?
Of course. Let me tell you a little bit more about my story in the CX world. I've always been a people's person, always liked the social sciences, always loved learning about other people's journeys and histories and cultures. But I was also very passionate about tech. I was in the aviation industry very briefly, and I loved tech. But I didn't know then that there was a world where I can combine my two passions into one. And in my last year of college, I found this amazing opportunity at another fintech startup. It was a virtual bank slash neobank. And I realized that there was such a huge potential for me to really understand a different world of your typical customer experience or customer support world. At least from my experience, I've always had this that, you never get replies to any of your questions. People will leave you hanging, or even if you go to the bank, your typical brick and mortar bank, you will never get that awesome experience by going and deposit your check, right? So I felt very passionate about this. And in my latest role there, I lasted there for 4 years. And in my latest role there, I was very focused on learning and development and project management. And I loved it. I started working with a BPO that we had at the time. And I really loved how we can turn this external team into one that really represents your brand. I love that. And I was very involved in all of the launches and making sure that the BPO was very attuned with those launches. But I always knew that I really wanted to do something different. I was there for 4 years. And like I said, in startup years, 4 years is a long time. And I was so ready for my next challenge. And Masa came into my inbox and I started talking with Luciano, the CEO, and he was talking about the company. And there were so many synergies that I could not ignore. As an immigrant myself, I came to the States when I was 14. I would have loved to have a service like this. And now my parents are here as well. And I love this service for them. They actually have MASA accounts and all that. So I love that they can contact their bank and then they have the support that they want and an amazing support that they didn't get from like their typical brick and mortar bank. And again, I fell in love with the idea of helping my community build wealth and to be financially stable, and that we can contribute to that and really make a difference. I really resonated with that. So I've been in MASA for almost 2 years, and it has been an amazing journey. The entire organization is just really together in this of making sure that we serve our customers, and this goes from the engineering team to the product team to the MX team, and we all really like united in this objective, and it has been an awesome ride ever since.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for sharing that story with us. I think that all of us like picture yourself like studying science and aviation and also then going to working with a BPO, but then like an immigrant, but then with your parents over there. So thank you for sharing your story with us. So awesome. Now we want to know a little bit more about your role. So can you provide an overview of your role as a senior member experience at MAZA?
So like I said, I've been MASA for for almost 2 years, and I loved my job here. I feel like we built so much. Like I said, I was the first hire like the first hire for member experience in my team, and we have built an extraordinary team with a lot of grit and resilience, and we built our escalation flow, operations flow, everything from the very beginning. But my role specifically today is I see it in two ways. I am a facilitator because with all that building and all that formation of the team, we basically build a lot of verticals, right? We're talking about social media, support operations,
Mm-hmm.
fraud prevention teams, right? And all these teams need to have a vision in common. So I am the facilitator to make sure that that vision is common and is the objective, and we are working towards that objective. But my second role here, the way that I see it, is as the voice of the customer, because at the end of the day, the customer is the one that is going to use this product, is going to be the one that are going to drive this product forward. So I also see myself as the voice of the customer. I share insights from our agents and from the customers themselves to make sure that that is part of the product that we're building. So that's how I see my role in MASA today.
Oh, sounds so great. And talking about like the voice of the customer and everything that you tell us before, uh, what strategies have you implemented to ensure positive and memorable experience for customers of MAZA?
I think your first strategy, and this is if you build your team from zero, is to make sure that you know your audience. That's the first strategy. Sometimes a lot of teams, and I've heard this a lot, where we don't even know what our customers want. So I think the first thing is to understand your audience, understand your customers, what do they want? And let me give you a quick example. Our customers are Latino immigrants or Latino non-residents in the United States, correct? And what do you want from those customers? You want, if you are that customer, you want to be able to receive customer experiences in your language, but and also customer experience that resonate with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have been able to build that, which is awesome. So I think first thing, making sure that you know your customer. And then the second thing, just cover your basics, right? How many times have we reach out to customer support teams or organizations, and then you never hear back from them? They hide their chat, or they hide like a way to email them. It's not very great. So make sure that your customer portal, your customer support portal, help center is very visible, and address their support tickets swiftly. I We make sure at MASA that our SLAs are very aggressive, so to say, but no one likes more than to receive an immediate response to something, to a problem or a concern that you have. So that is always a top priority, making sure that those tickets don't gather dust in your queue. And every ticket matters. Even if you tell us hello, we will reply to you. I think that is also very important, because if they're writing me, they're making sure that you exist, that you're there for them. So every ticket matters. I think that is one of the strategies that have also worked very well for us. Another thing is to remember that authenticity wins. every time.
Okay.
Sometimes we receive these scripted messages that have no relevancy to what you say or like what you really want from the agent or from an organization. And that doesn't sound right. So our strategy for our agents is to talk like if you're talking to a friend, right? Like who doesn't love talking to a friend when your friend tries to resolve issues for you? Who doesn't love that? So again, authenticity wins all the time, at least in my heart, and at MASA. So we always promote that. And I know this sounds very basic, but just listen actively. Sometimes like we
Yeah.
think that we know the issue, but do we really know the issue? And make that journey to a solution simple. Sometimes we elaborate too much, we use fancy words. None of that has space in a customer's heart. Again, they're just trying to solve the issue. Just go to the bottom of the issue and move from there. So simplicity and authenticity, again, always wins. And another strategy that has been working for us lately as we have expanded into another line of business, voice, it's follow up with customers. Customers love being follow up, making sure that their issues have been responded and addressed to. Um, it's simple. How can we do better? Also helps. They really want to know that you care. So a simple follow up also has been really helpful in our operations. And again, it sounds like so easy. Like yeah, this is supposed to be, but a lot of companies don't really have the basics done. So our focus is to make sure that our basics are great and are like in tune with what we want. And then we can build on top of that. But make sure that your foundation is strong.
Amazing. You said a lot of things that probably sounds like obvious, but then they are not obvious for
Hmm.
everyone. So I love the way you say about like knowing your audience. That is like basics, but sometimes, as you said and you mentioned,
Hmm.
companies didn't realize who is the audience they are reaching out. And
Hmm.
also, I think that I connect with you a lot in the talk to the client as a friend, because when you have a
Hmm.
problem, you don't need somebody over stricter or something, or that talks in a language that you don't manage, a banking language
Hmm.
or sort of structured language. So awesome that you are, and in MAZA, you are implementing this type of
Hmm.
responses and strategy to the customers. I think that that is why you have super good reviews about the customer service of your client. So let's move
Hmm.
forward and let's talk about more specifically. As MAZA is a financial technology company, of course, offering
Hmm.
banking and financial services that are designed, as we mentioned before, of the Latino community in the US. How do you ensure that the customer experience is cultural relevant to this target?
Yeah, this is very important and very relevant to us, right? Because we are so niche, so to say. But I feel like our number one goal is to go beyond providing fast responses, like I mentioned before. But we also emphasize a lot on quality over quantity. I know we have SLAs, we all need to make sure that we meet our metrics and KPIs and all that, but we don't understand the value of really honing in into the customer's issue, talking to them, connecting with them, and really resolving the issues, but also how that conversation and that connection to the customers can lead to brand advocates. And we know that a lot of brands have been built on advocates, referrals, word of mouth. And this is very important. And I think for us, it has been a huge priority to, again, making sure that we are building those connections. We are building quality connections with our customers over like how many tickets that we're responding in X amount of period. So this is very important. And another thing is you've mentioned it before, right? Like in the financial and banking services, we have so many complex concepts and it gets very difficult and it's sometimes scary. Like if it's scary for me that I've been in the banking industry for over 6 years, right? Imagine for someone that is new to the banking services in the United States, right? It becomes very difficult to navigate. And we want to make sure that we simplify, like I mentioned earlier, we want to simplify those terms. We don't want to make it sound scary. I know that could be scary, but we want to walk with you to make sure that we navigate those new challenges and we allow you to thrive financially in the States. So again, just making sure that we have quality over quantity conversations. And I say this all over again, simplicity and authenticity always wins.
Continue and moving like in the way that we were talking about before. As we were still talking about customer, of course, experience and service. In the realm of delivering an exceptional experience at MAZA, what are the common challenges that you have encountered, especially considering the unique financial needs of the Latino community in the U.S.?
One of the most common challenges that we have faced at MAZA is navigating the ever-changing landscape of our industry. Remember, this is happening to all startups and also other virtual banks, neobanks out there. Because again, the needs change, US regulation changes, compliance changes. So we have found ourselves in this constant state of change. And we have found ourselves always defining and redefining the requirements of our company, the needs of our customers. And that has been one of the biggest challenges that we are trying to address by being very adaptable and resilient. And again, just making sure that in our priorities, we don't lose sight of our customers because at the end of the day, they are the end of it all, right? That we are doing this for them, right? Another challenge, and this is for our customers, specifically the Latino community in the States, is that like I mentioned earlier, they're new to the States, they're new to the system, and it's really hard for them to trust. So earning their trust has been a process that we have become really good at, and I think our support team has done an amazing job in navigating this trust issue that we've been having with customers. But I think it comes from their experiences, right? Like they come from Latin America typically, and they have not had great experiences with their banks. And I mean, in the States, we also have had that experience where customers didn't really know what virtual banks were at some point, right? So we are trying to introduce them into this new world where you can just bank from your phone. That's so new and so scary. And this is a transition that the States have done in the past 10 years that these folks are just starting to get on board with. So it's just earning the trust of the customers and really navigating that has been a challenge. But again, we adapt and one important thing to say there is that we adapt to our customers. The customers can really adapt to us. And that is very important to remember.
Awesome. Now, in general, how does MAZA gather feedback for the customers that you're attending, and how is that feedback used to improve the overall experience?
This is incredibly important because, again, sometimes we lose sight of who we're serving, but the customer should be at the heart of everything. So we do our typical focus group surveys, making sure that customers feel okay, great with our experiences. Very important, basics are covered. But another channel that we have found where we can find very authentic and very raw feedback is through our agents and interactions. And let me explain. we truly believe in the power of listening to our customers. But sometimes customers are not going to write to us and be like, this feature does not work for me for X, Y, and Z reason, right? Sometimes you call because you have a problem, and in that call, you share other experiences that you have with the app, or you don't even know that it's a bug and you share, and this is happening to me, and I think it's only me, but the customer is sharing that there is actually something happening, and we know that he might not be, or he or she may not be the only customer experiences. So we have really found immense value in listening to our agents because they're talking to customers all the time. They're talking to 10, 20, 30 customers in a day. And who has more valuable feedback than them? So we have open channels to have them share feedback with us. Our Slack is always open for feedback. We have channels for feedback in our Slack. We conduct regular meetings with them, focus groups. So we're not only focusing on the customer themselves, but also on the agents. What valuable feedback we can get from agents.
Awesome. Can you share with us like some examples about this that you have been mentioned to us? How do you have like implement the voice of the customer through the agents and everything into real changes of the service?
One feedback that we received in the past few days was customers with issues on their mobile apps. The interface was not working, and honestly, it was something that we couldn't really tell from an engineer perspective. But there were so many people complaining about this and sharing
Mhm.
this with us that we decided to look further into it, and we realized that there was an issue happening, right? And again, this is only one small example. Maybe we had like 10 customers reaching out about this, but we have really implemented big interface and like core features that we have thought that they were good, but they were not really good based on customers' feedback. Because again, they are the center of everything,
Right.
and this feedback has been received from our agents and customers. So they has this system that we have implemented, this escalation system that we have implemented has been great for leveraging this feedback for implementing big changes into our platform.
Okay. Let's move to another topic now. So, in recent news, I have seen that MAZA has expressed interest in expanding into savings. So that is another world into the bank and financial. Um, how do you envision maintaining a personal and cultural, of course, relevant customer experience as the mean like the services expand?
Yeah, this is an awesome question for me because at MASA, we're all about empowering our community to thrive financially. This is at the heart of our organization and is part of our mission and vision for this company. And we're really excited to share that our plans for expanding our services, particularly in the realm of savings, is happening. As you know, for Latinos in the US, saving money isn't sometimes a priority, but they always looking to reach those financial goals, their American dream, right? But it's not only about building wealth for themselves, but building wealth for their families and generations to come. So we have
Right.
a huge task at hand. And again, we're very passionate about this. So what we're trying to do is making sure that we are building products that are relevant to our customers because they know, everybody knows that they need to save. That is not a question. I know it's not sexy. It's not, it's another task in our heads sometimes, right? But we know the importance of saving, and we want to really make sure that we build tools that our customers can use not only to start saving, but to continue saving for as long as possible. Again, our purpose is to help them build wealth, thrive in the States, right? So what we have really trying to do, and we build and we're trying to really build this in a way that we personalize the experience, that the experience is culturally relevant, that is helpful, that adds value to our customers, that is not just another savings account, that it's not doing anything for me, that but that they get value from this new experience and new product. Again, it's not fully out. We're still working on it. It's a work in progress, but we're very excited that we want to go into this route because long term, I think it's awesome to know that our communities are trying to take control of their finances and work towards their long term goals. But yeah, it's
I'm pretty
cool.
sure that is gonna be awesome, this new product for you, because you are like so focused in improving your products day by day. So I'm sure that you
Mhm.
are gonna make a success in the expanding into the saving world. So, so amazing, the new news about moving forward and expanding into the saving world. Um, as all your products, I know that it's gonna be an exit, absolutely. Um, but let's still move under the cultural aspect, our topic. Are there specific considerations or challenges you anticipate in adapting the service to different cultural and regulatory environments?
It's a great question, but as I said, as we add more products and services to our portfolio, and as custom as our services get more complex, so does the regulation, the compliance, and
Mm-hmm.
all these different considerations that we have to make sure that that product is as relevant and is as trustworthy as possible. So it has been a huge challenge, but we are not afraid of challenges, and we love navigating this. And then with the right help that we've been getting in the last few months and years, we feel like we are in a space where we feel more confident shipping products out. And again, making sure that they are as relevant and as compliant as possible. Because again, we want to make sure that these products are trustworthy.
Amazing. So we have talked a lot about customer experience, the cultural environment, the difference, the challenges that you move through, of course, the cultural and the customer experience. But what about we want to know more about like tech, and we know that part of the customer service is tools and technology. So we
Mhm.
are curious, and of course, we know that the audience is curious too. Are there any tools that you have been using in your role that significantly improve the overall customer experience, internally efficiencies, and in the other hand, there are any tools that you would not recommend?
We are slowly but surely moving into the web of AI, and I think it has been a game changer in terms of efficiency, in terms of really dealing with that low-hanging fruit of our operations. Um, and I 100% recommended any AI tool that you can include in your toolbox. It will be a huge win for you. But on the flip side, I do think that doing too much of one thing, at least at this point, is not great. Like I mentioned before, authenticity always wins. And something that we have really found that our customers don't really like is talking to bots or feeling that they're talking to bots.
Hmm.
That's why scripts don't work. That's why going fully AI and fully automated interactions don't really work today. So we have really like not gone fully AI at this point because again we're still trying to navigate that new wave, that new tool, but it
Hmm.
has been very helpful so far. But we know that going fully, into that realm, it has not been great so far. So I would say having that human connection and really understanding our customers and what they want, which is they don't want to talk to a bot today, has been really, really good uh, not not like really go all the way there. So yeah, it has been a challenge for sure.
Um, what are the challenges that you, as Laura, as the senior member experience of MAZA, have you faced in your role, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question because I guess it happens to everybody that goes into fintech startups. You feel like you're wearing multiple hats, you're juggling various responsibilities, but especially as a leader, you really need to make sure that you delegate and that you empower your team to do what they need to do. And for me, it has been really hard to let go of that, of all the things that I need to do because I feel like I can do it all, but you really need to trust your team. And it's not only a learning opportunity for my team, right? For my team members to grow and learn and to find new experiences and to find things that they like or really feel good about the projects that they accomplish. But also for me, right? It's a good learning experience for me to delegate, to really trust my team that they can do the best that they can. So I think as a leader, you really need to let go. I'm not a micromanager in any way, but I think just really trusting my instinct, giving that space, and that safe space for creativity, it has been a huge learning opportunity for me. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, seeing my team build amazing things, come up with great ideas. We love doing like brainstorming sessions every week, and then we go into like a whiteboard. Sometimes we all like from home, but sometimes I'm in the office and we take a whiteboard and be like, what would you want your experience at this bank to be? Like,
Hmm.
no budget restrictions, no limits, right? No resource limits. Like what would you do to make this experience great? And seeing them be so creative and so passionate about our company, so passionate about MASA has been really rewarding. So just giving that space has been really, really good for me as a leader, to let happen. So
Great advice for all the leaders of the customer experience that are hearing us today. So, thank you so much for all your answers. We are getting like in the final stage of this part of the podcast. Any last piece of advice for our audience that you want to share?
absolutely. I think my last piece of advice, and something that I was very honored to learn throughout my years in support, is that we shouldn't see support teams or just your support department team as a cost center. We should see as an asset. It's incredible to see all the learnings and all the things that we have been able to really accomplish by seeing them as an advocate for your brand and as a way to connect to your customers and really empowering them to give our customers the best experience that they can and turn them into loyal users. It has been amazing to see. So I feel like we should change the chip and not see as like, oh, I'm spending all this money in support, but seeing
Hmm.
as like, how can I start generating revenue from this part of my company that at the end of the day is so necessary to have. Um, so I would say that just changing the chip.
Awesome. That final advice of you, I think that is one of the most valuables. I know that a lot of people that is working in the customer experience faces that challenge all the time because company says that customer experience is not it is not returning. They have not
Mhm.
investment return, and as you mentioned it before, it had to be an investment, but also has to return back into earnings, because companies are made from earnings. So that is not a lie for anyone. So Laura, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for all the advices that you said to us. I know that as I do, a lot of people learn about customer experience a lot, and also like feel your passion about this topic. So thank you everyone for listening to the CX Coffee Chat. This was our first episode, and we hope you're still listening the next.